Kingdom! Your Kansas City Chiefs are headed back to the Super Bowl, to New Orleans, just as I said they would back in, was it August? I don't even know. Whenever I was in New Orleans in July, I think, July, August, somewhere around there, sometime in the summer. I was in New Orleans. I recorded a podcast, and I said that the Chiefs would be back in New Orleans in February, and here we are. The Kansas City Chiefs have officially clinched their ticket to meet the Philadelphia Eagles. I didn't watch any of that game, so I'm not going to get into that game at all. I'll probably do another podcast, at some point, either later in the week or at the beginning of next week, and talk more about the Eagles game. But I was at Arrowhead. I just got back from Arrowhead Stadium, tailgating, watching the game, and I mean, Chiefs Kingdom, the energy was brought tonight. The energy was absolutely brought. I mean, that stadium was electric, and sometimes I feel like, and if my voice cracks, man, I ain't got no voice, so just be prepared. But the energy that was in that stadium tonight, it just felt like, again, like, that second Bengals game, I don't know if I can say the Titans game just because that was so much different, but an absolutely historic night at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri this evening. A lot of sad Buffalo Bills fans leaving that stadium very early, I might add. I will say, Bills Mafia, you have no faith in your team, which surprised me. Absolutely cool fans. I had no bad interactions with any Bills fans, I will say. So shout out to Bills Mafia for that. But I will say, man, have some faith in your team. I mean, I guess I get it. As Chiefs fans, we've all been there, when it comes to all of the tough playoff losses and stuff. But I think there was still a minute and change. It was after and the Bills still had 3 timeouts left. So it was after the stop where the Chiefs got the ball back. The Chiefs would go on to get 2 first downs and end the game there. But a lot of Buffalo Bills fans were piling out of Arrowhead at that moment that happened. And I just thought, me and everybody around me was still saying there's still game left to play. I mean, the Bills have a chance to get the ball back possibly, and they did not. Chiefs sealed the deal. Did a great job at it, at sealing the deal with the 2 first downs. The P. Ryan play was absolutely amazing. And just really the way that this team played, the way this team battled throughout the night, very close game. I think we all expected that coming in. They had a couple of chances to go up by 2 scores and did not capitalize on that, but they ended up getting the job done in the end. Great job by the defense starting the game out 3 and out. I think the defense, Spags, deserves so much credit for this. That blitz late against Josh Allen that helped seal the deal, that was huge. I feel like I've said seal the deal like 20 times already, but I'm still pretty hype off this win. Like I said, I just got back from Arrowhead. Patrick Mahomes, more passing yards, but also more rushing yards than Josh Allen. We also saw Josh Allen get stuffed on the push play like 3 different times in this game, which honestly, I didn't even know if it was possible. Good practice for the Super Bowl. We obviously saw that against Philly, I don't know how many times in the first Super Bowl where the Chiefs played the Eagles. Real quick, I'm going to run down the stats and pretty much end this, but I just had to put a podcast together right afterwards. Also, make more hats. Shout out to Sheriff. He got the last hat in line. And so I'm rocking my Super Bowl hat from last year. I wasn't able to get any hats. They did have plenty of shirts. They had, but not enough hats that they wore on the field. And every time the Titans AFC Championship game, the Bengals AFC Championship game, I've been able to get them right after the game. I don't know if it was just not enough or what was up with that. But Patrick Mahomes, 245 yards and a touchdown through the air, 18 of 26. Kareem Hunt had a big game, 17 carries for 64 yards, also a touchdown. Mahomes, as I said, 11 carries, 43 yards. He was hindered by, obviously, the knees at the end of the game, where he did have 45 rushing yards, I do believe, heading into the second half. I'm pretty sure he did all of his rushing in the first half. Xavier Worthy got in with a couple of carries. He had 16 yards. Pop, just 12 yards on 5 carries. Kind of a rough night for him, but I feel like he had one big run that did help the team out. Juju Smith-Schuster, Huge night, 2 catches, 60 yards. Hollywood Brown, 3 for 35. Travis Kelce getting in there for a couple. Xavier Worthy had the touchdown, 6 catches for 85 yards. How about the rookie getting it done? And, he has really cleaned up a lot of his mistakes that he's had throughout the year, just positioning-wise and whatnot, catching the ball with feet being out of bounds and on a play where they didn't need to be out of bounds. I think that was the Buccaneers game. Looking at the other side, what the defense did, Josh Allen, 22 for 34, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Chiefs defense. James Cook, 13 for 85. He had a couple of touchdowns. Allen, just 39 yards on 11 carries. Ty Johnson got into the mix, 6 carries for 19 yards. Mac Hollins, 3 catches for 73 yards and a touchdown. James Cook, 3 for 49. Khalil Shakir, 6 for 46. Mari Cooper, he had a couple of big catches, 4 for 33. And then Dalton Kincaid, 2 catches for 13 yards. But obviously, the huge drop in that game. And real quick, just because, everyone is going to talk about it all week, let's talk about the officiating. Honestly, Bills Mafia, I don't want to hear a word about officiating, or really the rest of the world. I know we're going to hear it either way, but really I could care less. When you had a play where, and like I said, I was at the game, so there was a whole other play ran. Bottlegate happened all over again. There was a play that happened, and then the Bills somehow challenged the play before the play at the goal line. Funniest part about it, though, is there was a holding call on there. So even if Buffalo gets the challenge right, there's still a holding call for a first down for the Kansas City Chiefs. Absolute boneheaded move, and that was there towards the end of the first half, and that was really the first moment where I thought, it's looking like the same old Buffalo Bills in the playoffs, really just going to implode on themselves. And, pretty much exactly what was expected. I was really just very impressed by the defense and what they were able to do against the push play. Very impressive. Couple of stands where with the 2-point conversion, that was huge. There's a couple of 2-point conversions that the defense was able to keep Buffalo out of the end zone from, I want to say going up. They're trying to go up by 3 at one point. Anyways, the Chiefs were able to get their 2-point conversion, 1 for 1. I think Buffalo was over 2 on 2-point conversions. Either way, great game. Like I said, I'm going to make this short and sweet. It's late. Just got back from Arrowhead. Wonderful atmosphere. Shout out to everybody that was out there. It was a great night. It was one of those nights where it just felt right. Everything felt on point. Everybody had a ton of energy going in the game. Bills Mafia showed up quite a bit, although I thought they were supposed to be loud at some point. I never heard them. Didn't make a lot of noise. And, it was a great night. So, shout out to Chiefs Kingdom. Again, I'm going to go back and watch the Eagles and Washington game. Went 1-1 this weekend. Chiefs got the dub. I did expect the Commanders to get the win and continue their Cinderella story. They did not, obviously, so we get the Philly and Kansas City rematch. So very short and sweet. As I said, Sunday night, I'm back to record a little bit more onto this episode Thursday night. It's been a very busy week for you, boy. So I, kind of got that together. Wasn't sure really if I wanted to just, what was like 8 minutes, I think, that I recorded Sunday night. Obviously right after the game when I got home. Definitely spirits very high. Feeling good. Still feeling good. Had to, get on here with my New Orleans hoodie for obvious reasons. The Chiefs are headed to New Orleans. But so I just wanted to get into a couple things, especially through this week, that have been talked about quite a bit. Plan to have some guests on the show over the next week to kind of get us ready for the Super Bowl and talk about that more. Also, film breakdown coming. And I'm kind of undecided on, how much of the film I want to get into from the AFC Championship game. But there's a few plays specifically I want to get into. And what I'm going to talk about right now is one of those plays that we will get into on that film breakdown at some point. That's the Josh Allen play and the Dalton Kincaid play, really back-to-back, where, obviously Sunday night I wasn't, hadn't seen much reaction from anyone yet, just on Twitter or wherever. But obviously it's been talk of the town, talk of the country, whatever you want to say, all week, where, everybody seems to think That the Bills got 2 first downs on 3rd and 4th down, which, I mean, neither play did the ball pass the first down marker. And I think what a lot of people are confusing with is with a touchdown, honestly. I mean, that is really the only thing that I can think of because, you know, when you're going for a first down, it's not breaking the plane. You know, it's not the same thing as a touchdown. You don't get to the first down marker and get a first down. You have to pass the first down marker. Also, the yellow line. Shout out to everybody that doesn't understand the yellow line is not real. It's not really on the field. It's not a perfect showcase of where the first down marker actually is. I mean, you know, it's there for you on TV just to, you know, kind of get an idea of where, you know, obviously the first down marker is, but it's not 100% accurate. So, and neither is the blue line or, you know, whatever color it is nowadays. I know they switch it up on some networks where it'll be your team's color for the line of scrimmage. That's another one that I've seen that I feel like some people have gotten confused where it's like and I'm not even sure off the top of my head what play it was, but where they showed, it was one of the sneaks, I think, or the tush push plays from the Bills where one of the Chiefs linemen, defensive linemen, has their head over the blue line, but not past the ball, not even to the ball. It's like the ball is where that actual line is. Just because the blue line is there doesn't mean that's the actual line of, you know, where the marker is. Anyways, you get what I'm getting at. And both of those plays, when Dalton Kincaid went down, first of all, he went down, his elbows hit the ground before the ball got to that marker. I get he bounced and then got past the line or up to the line. And maybe it was a bad spot. Sure. You know, I could get down with that it was a bad spot. Maybe it was a bad spot. But it wasn't a first down, that's for sure. And this 4th and 1 that Josh Allen clearly did not break onto the other side of the first down marker with the ball. The ball, guys. The ball has to get past, not the actual person. Because Josh Allen was past the line to gain. The ball was not, though. That's the real problem here. It's the ball. The ball has to get past the first down line, not just Josh Allen. And, you know, every clip that I've seen, I'm just like, man, what are we doing here? Because what are we watching? I don't understand what everyone else is seeing that is not Chiefs fans, other than the fact that they're just mad the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl again. And especially after all year. I mean, if you've been listening to me all year, you've been watching any of my film breakdowns from earlier in the year. I haven't been, you know, 100% on top of that, obviously. But this team does not show their hand throughout the season. It's been the same way for the last few years. This team gets through the regular season. They get through the regular season. And this year, they just so happen to go 15-1 with the starters. 15-2 total, obviously, with the backups in the final week of the season with no reason to play your starters. Unless you're a Bengals fan and you think the Chiefs are scared of the Cincinnati Bengals, who haven't made the playoffs in 2 years, mind you. And the last time they were in the playoffs, their playoff run was ended by the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. I don't think anyone's scared of the Bengals. Bengals are not really that team. Not that scary. And, you know, going back to this AFC Championship game, and you even saw it, and I can't remember what the D lineman's name is, starts with an R, for the Bills. But, I mean, even he came out and said they were running plays that we had not seen. It was not on our film study. It seems like Chiefs fans have been saying this all year long. They're not going to show their hand. The Kansas City Chiefs are not going to show their hand in the regular season. For what? The Chiefs know where they're going to end up at. They're going to end up in the playoffs, and they're going to show their best stuff in the postseason, and they did that. And honestly, I think they went kind of vanilla when they were going to go up by 2. I don't think that they were, you know, calling the best play calls when they could have went up by 2 scores to start the second half. They also, I can't remember what call that was. There was kind of a rough call on that one that they missed. That might have been the offsides for the Bills that they called a false start on Caliendo on that play that ended that drive. Well, essentially ended that drive, put it back to, I think, a 3rd and long or something like that. Either way, the nonsense of the officials and the officiating is helping the Chiefs out on the Chiefs side. And especially against the Bills is kind of laughable, just for the simple fact that, I mean, did we not just see 2-3 weeks ago, whatever it is at this point, against the Denver Broncos, where I think it was Vinovich that came over, the head official, the referee, came over and apologized to Josh Allen for a call. I mean, there's plenty of calls missed here. The Xavier Worthy one, too, is another one that is laughable to me, and I think a lot of Chiefs fans, just for the simple fact that we just saw that last week. Dalton Schultz just got a catch the week prior in the divisional round that hit the ground. And I remember being in the stadium, and shout out to Joe that sits a row up from me at the games. He actually told me and was the one to tell me that that's something that they've changed. I don't know if that was this year, the last couple of years, but, we're always trying to figure out what the hell a catch is anyways, right? Ever since the Des Bryant thing happened, we are all just trying to figure out what is a catch? What is a football move? All of these things, right? Well, Dalton Schultz caught a pass. The ball hit the ground. And it was ruled a catch. They reviewed it. It was ruled a catch after the review. They went to New York. It was a catch. I didn't understand. I didn't believe it. And no, but if the ball hits the ground and does not move, apparently that is a catch now. So us Chiefs fans got to see that just a week ago. So I think we all kind of knew as Chiefs fans that was going to still be ruled a catch. Not to mention, this is the most controversial play of the game, in my opinion. Not only because of the catch thing, and look, for me personally, I don't think that's a catch. I don't know if I really love that rule of being a catch. I didn't like it the week prior with Dalton Schultz. I mean, it's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess, or so to speak, because, I don't know if I love it with Worthy either. But it is actually consistent, which is something we don't get out of the officiating really whatsoever, is consistency. We did see that week to week in the playoffs. We saw the consistency with that being called a catch in the divisional round. It was called a catch in the AFC Championship game. Go do your homework. And I get it, it was, my favorite team personally that it happened to. So, again, got to see it. It was consistent. It was consistent with how that they called that. So, I mean, it is a catch. What got really controversial after that was couple of things, because this was the moment where I somewhat stopped taking the Bills seriously, and this was in the first half, that I thought, oh, this is the same team. This is the same team that's going to make mistakes down the stretch. They're going to do silly stuff. They're going to do something that is ultimately going to cost them the game. Xavier Worthy catches that pass. The Chiefs get up to the line of scrimmage. They run another play. And I think they got stuffed, short gain. The Bills might have aided for the Chiefs getting points because, actually, after we ran that play, we're going to run it back and challenge the previous play, which is obviously not legal. That's how Bottlegate happened in whatever year that was, early 2000s in Cleveland, where they had to call the game. That's how Bottlegate happened, right? That's why you don't have bottled beer at football games anymore. And so not only did the officials let Buffalo get away with this, and I get it, I still haven't seen anything that shows that McDermott threw the flag before the Chiefs ran the play. It was very loud in Arrowhead. I'm sure nobody heard a whistle or anything to that effect. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? I think that, if he threw the flag before the play was, ran and they ended up running the play, somebody saw it, yada, yada. I mean, it's fair. And that probably just goes back to the fact that it's probably hard to hear. Although the Chiefs were on offense. And it is a whole hell of a lot quieter at an Arrowhead Stadium when the Chiefs are on offense versus when they're on defense. So, they go back, they challenge a play from a play ago, which is not legal. Not only did Sean McDermott challenge this play, but he challenged it for no reason. There was a holding call on the defense that was declined. So even if you do get the challenge right. They call it no catch against Worthy. There's still a holding call. The Chiefs are going to get a first down. Or an extra down. I'm not 100% sure of the defensive holding. I think that gives you an automatic first down. I might be wrong on that right now off the top of my head. It's late again while I'm recording on Thursday night. Just getting back into Kansas City from the Gulf. I don't know, man. The whole refs talk, I mean, at this point, I think it's kind of comedy. It's comical, and just for anyone of any other fan base that thinks the officials are favoriting the Chiefs or Taylor Swift or whatever you want to come up with, we are all making fun of you in Kansas City. We are all laughing at you. Not only are we as fans, the team is laughing at y'all too. Saw Drew Tranquil tweet something about it. I saw multiple players. Andy Reid was laughing about it on Pat McAfee, or either earlier today or yesterday, whenever that clip was from. I haven't watched the whole interview, but I saw like a quick little, the beginning of it. And it's really just comical at this point, because I've said it all season long. The Chiefs are the most composed team in the NFL. No team, no coaching staff, nobody has a more composed team than the Kansas City Chiefs. They do not make mistakes. They do not beat themselves. I won't say they don't make mistakes. They obviously make mistakes. But when it comes down to crunch time, the Chiefs just do not make a ton of mistakes. They do not beat themselves. Even in this game with the fumble, the Patrick Mahomes fumble, didn't really affect the game too much. Just for the simple fact that, I mean, even another possession was given to the Bills. And they couldn't do enough with it. And really, I think it goes back to the divisional round 2 against the Baltimore Ravens that the Bills had, where Lamar Jackson turned the ball over twice in the first half. The fact that the Bills, it came down to the 2-point conversion being dropped by Mark Andrews for a Bills win. That team looked like they could be had in the divisional round, and they showed it in the AFC Championship game. They showed it with the mistakes that they made, the silly mistakes. And going back to the tush push time and time again when it didn't work all night, again, it goes back to the coaching. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I will, talk the talk all day long, but I'm, at the same time, I'm not going to act like Josh Allen isn't one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Although we may talk and clown and, do whatever, he can't win the big game. Plain and simple. But at the end of the day, it comes down to coaching. It comes down to Sean McDermott. That challenge was one of the dumbest things that I think I've seen in a long time by any coach in any game, I think. Because just how silly that was. And I get it. It was a big play. It was a momentum shifter. But to go and challenge that, knowing that holding call is there, it's already going to push the Chiefs in field goal range. I think that drive did end up with a touchdown before the half. But, and then being stubborn about the tush push play. Being stubborn about not handing the damn ball off to James Cook. James Cook was, 13 for 85? I'm pretty sure I said it earlier in this podcast when recording Sunday night. But, I mean, why are you going away from James Cook? It's like the same thing the Ravens did a week ago to them. They just stopped running the ball. They didn't run the ball enough. Although I think it was a little different with the Ravens trailing as much as they were the whole game. But, I mean, they did not run the ball enough. And it felt like Buffalo just kind of quit on running the ball. And I also do think, though, that Josh Allen kind of showed. The receiving corps showed. And I said that at the beginning of the season. I made a joke, and Bills Mafia was all in the comment section, mainly on TikTok. And on right here on YouTube as well, or if you're watching on YouTube, I guess. But saying, where I was talking about the receiving corps, saying who do they even have at receiver? They don't have any, top flight receivers, and it showed. It showed big time in that AFC Championship game, because anytime Allen had to make a play with his arm, it wasn't there. It just was not there, and it seemed like. It almost felt like Buffalo's really running a fairly elementary offense. And shout out to Steve Spagnuolo, because that blitz at the end of the game to seal the deal, where Allen threw it up to Kincaid, couldn't get it to him. I mean, Spags, man. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Spagnuolo. That is the dude. Best defensive coordinator in this league at this current moment. Easily the best defensive coordinator. You look at all these guys that are copying him. I feel like you can see Steve Spagnuolo and what he has done in almost, a lot of defenses in the league. I feel like it was Vic Fangio a few years ago and how to attack Patrick Mahomes. And Fangio really, you saw his, imprint on all kinds of other defenses. But now the rotating safeties, having everybody up on the line, D tackles dropping back into coverage. We're seeing that with more teams in the league other than just the Kansas City Chiefs at this point. And I mean, it helps to have an athletic D tackle. Shout out to Turk Wharton, man. He has been awesome. He's been great. Just absolutely fantastic. I think he is a big-time, super unsung hero of this Kansas City Chiefs defense. All season has been amazing. And the athleticism that Turk Wharton has, it was on display from one of those videos in practice where him and Chris Jones were kind of messing around, looking like they were, I don't know if they were acting like they were boxing, kind of little, moving around a little bit together, or maybe simulating some offensive line. I mean, it's a lot of hand fighting. I feel like, just does one thing I feel like I can definitely really understand with my MMA background of the hand fighting of the offensive defensive lines and battles in the trenches. It's fun to watch. But Turk Wharton, man, that dude, very athletic defensive tackle, and it was just a great game. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I decided to come back on here, ramble a little bit for you guys just on these things, just because this is what I've been seeing all week online, and it's, at the end of the day, it's silly. Or the notion of the Patriots dynasty was way more bearable than the Chiefs. And look, I love to hate. Don't get me wrong. I love to hate. I did come around on the Patriots team at the end. As a kid, I kind of liked them in the beginning. That Teddy Bruschi, Rodney Harrison, David Patton, Deion Branch, Troy Brown. The team was very solid. Very solid. Fun team to watch, I thought, growing up. And then there at the end, I mean, you just got to respect Brady and what he's done. But to act like a team that got caught cheating twice. I mean, come on now. You can say what you want about the refs. You can think the refs are biased. You can say what you want about it. But at the end of the day, Chiefs have not been caught cheating. They haven't been caught spying on other teams. They haven't been caught deflating footballs on the sidelines. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Revisionist history, and that's all right. I understand. Nobody wants to see the Chiefs win another Super Bowl. Nobody wants to see the Chiefs in another Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, you're witnessing history. You're witnessing NFL history. Be the first three-peat ever in the Super Bowl era. I know the Packers won 3 straight championships or whatever before they were Super Bowls. I think the first 2 Super Bowls was a part of that. They won the last NFL championship. Get out of here with that. Not a three-peat in the Super Bowl era. And that's what we're seeing with the best athletes in the world. I mean, I don't like to just go poo on, the old guard. But at the end of the day, we are dealing with extremely different athletes than we were in that day and age. And I mean, when you got your DB that's got another gig as a plumber or something like that, these guys don't have no second job. These guys are football players. They're athletes 24/7. This is what they do. And to see the Chiefs be able to excel to this level, to go to a third straight, and really just feel like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about y'all, Chiefs Kingdom. But I've said it all season, or, especially here towards the end of the season, it just feels inevitable almost. And they're there either way. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to get to some predictions. We're going to break down the Super Bowl, obviously, as I've done the last couple. We're going to look forward to it. I'm excited. I will be in New Orleans next week. I'm excited for that. Just to get that atmosphere, that energy in New Orleans. Ready for that Super Bowl. I'll be at home for the game, though, in Kansas City, where I'm supposed to be for this game. I can't, you can't jinx anything at this point, right? I've been at home and grilled on Super Sunday the last couple of years. That's what I plan to do again this year. Hey, let me know your Super Bowl routine in the comments below, Chiefs Kingdom. Let me know If you got any superstitions for the Super Bowl, any lucky jersey you wear, anything like that, we will see you in New Orleans, though, for the Super Bowl. I have film breakdowns on the way as well. We're going to go over the AFC Championship game. EDJ is going to return. Plan to have more than just EDJ on, though, before the Super Bowl. So stay on the lookout for some podcasts and some film breakdowns as well. Smash that subscribe button for me and hit the like button if you are still hanging around in this and you enjoy listening to me ramble on this podcast. I really do appreciate it. And just trying to build a community on here, talk some football. Excited to get to the offseason and talk about the draft and things like that. And I'm going to try to get in, to more. Obviously, with this Chiefs run, everything's been focused around the Chiefs. But we're going to get back into talking MMA, maybe a little baseball around the corner, as well as that is coming up. Very quickly, if you haven't went over to the gaming channel as well, go over there, smash that subscribe button for me, and check out some videos. Got some mainly college football up on there right now, a little bit of Call of Duty. But until the next one, see you next week. How about those Chiefs?